Okie dokie. I've got my mixed fuel and just added some more into the trimmer. My agenda is just one main thing: cut as much as I can. This is the first day I've been out here in a while where there is no snow. The last time I came out here, even though it wasn't snowing, there was still snow everywhere, and I don't know how easily you can see this. It's an overcast day. You can see the sun is right there. This is the back of the house, and on this side, the sun comes up kind of over there, and it disappears over there. So this back of the house area does get sun for a while during the day, but this forest that goes all the way around behind the property, it is like a very small mountain, you know. It would be a great place to go hiking, I think. Even on the back side of the house, it's not sunny for too long, so the snow kind of remains. You can see right here it's also blocked, so any snow down here is being shaded by a lot of this grass and this stone wall. But of course, on the front of the house is so tall, and the kura, the storage building, all of that shades the front of the house, so a lot of that snow stays for a very long time if the weather is cold. But luckily today it's sunny. It feels warm right now. I'm only wearing one sweatshirt. Not too bad. Let me walk around here. I'll try to do kind of a before and after. I haven't cut anything in this area. It looks like it's kind of pushed down, but I think that's just because this is where the water pools. Yeah, it's kind of squishy. The water kind of collapses the grass and the weeds in this area. All of that's the area I cut before, and the big pile of junk that I cut in the trees and all of that. This is where I'm starting today. That's where I fell down through the floor the first time I came to this house to visit. I haven't been back in there since because it's just in such terrible condition. You know, this is dangerous here, and I'm sure that the inside is no better. I just started cutting. I cut this over here, and actually all of this big pile here, it's all cut. It's just it was so tall like these that when you cut it down it just bunches up. So I'm going to get my rake over here and kind of try to pile them up into one area to get them out of the way, and then I'm going to continue on to cut all the way around the building, all the way out to the road, and then I'll continue cutting along the wall all the way back down there. And I'm saving the grass by that storage building for last. I just really want to get this side and back area cleaned out. So that's the way it looks right now, and I'll give you an after when I get finished. Alrighty? I just took a quick breather. I'm about to fill up for the second time. Got the trimmer sitting over there. I did cut a little bit through here, so you can see, if you noticed from earlier, it's down a little. It's kind of bothering me that these clumps here were sticking up. Let's take a look. This area all around the house back here on the other side of the concrete, it was neglected for a long time, so when it would rain, water would just collect. A lot of it's dry right now, you can see, but there's still some soft wet spots, especially when I get further out and I'm cutting. It's very soft. But what happens is it builds up these large clumps. Oh, these large clumps of soil. You can see clump, big clumps of grass bundles and weed bundles just grow out of these clumps, and cutting into that is just so difficult. Here's one you can see, believe it or not, that actually used to be on the concrete, but I was able to kind of look at that. It's crazy. It hurts when I kick it. It's really solid. So I pulled it up and tossed it off the concrete, and as you can see, I've completely cleared off the concrete. There's no more grass and mud on the concrete. Took a lot of work to kind of get some of these areas cleaned so there was an edge, and in order that the water would stay off the concrete and away from the house. Especially down on that end around the corner where the car was. It's very bad. It was very bad down there. Back to the grass cutting. Can you see the difference just from the little bit of cutting I've done over the past, I don't know, say maybe 45 minutes or so? So I was able to cut all of this crap down here. There was a little tree there that it was pretty bad, so I cut that down. There's still a tree right here. I'm going to leave it there for now because it's not a big tree. It's not harming anything, and since it hasn't shown any type of blooms, I'm wondering if maybe it will bloom this spring, during the spring, and maybe it'll look very pretty. I don't know. But if it doesn't, then it'll just have to go, I guess. Maybe it's just dead. This pile of rubbish and all of this stuff you see here, I've cut all of it. If you see it sticking up, it's not that I haven't cut it. I have. I've cut all of it. It's just, I don't know where, where to put it or what to do with it. My first thought is to burn it. But as you can see, first of all, burning this close to the house is not a good idea. And since there's so much stuff around it, right, and so much dead stuff, I would need to do a better job of trimming this down and getting it down to the dirt and creating a more controlled burn area or burn barrel or something. I know that people out here in the country do that sometimes, so I don't think it's a big deal. But I can't do that right now. Main priority is just to get it cut. Some of the stuff that's still alive, it can have a chance to die over the next couple of weeks or whatever. Like these briars and brambles. These things were really hard to cut with the trimmer. They were just really piled up right next to the guest house here. And this is all cut too. It's just piled up here. Right around the corner, this is where I stopped just a few minutes ago. This goes out to the road. Around this corner it goes out to the road. So this wall, I believe, can you hear the tree way out there creaking? Interesting, when the wind blows you can hear it creaking. The wall kind of comes over here and wraps around to the road. Sounds cool creaking out there. But anyway, there's a big bramble bush right here on the corner. I'm gonna have to change blades before I cut this, I think, because the blade that I'm using right now is the stock blade, and I've hit so many stones. Like here, they put some cement blocks around the guest house here, and there's the cement steps, and there are tiles that have come off from the roof. You know, these like porcelain or ceramic roof tiles. They're just scattered and randomly lying around in the grass, and I can't see them when I'm cutting, so I just hit them non-stop. So my new blade is supposed to have carbide tips that are resistant to hitting stone and stuff, so it'll last longer. But I wanted to get as much mileage out of that first cheap blade as possible before I move on to the good blade. It's almost time for me to get to the good blade because I've got some briars over there, and these are the briars by the guest house. I'm going to need that to cut all that down and then to finish around the storage building there. Here's some of those roof tiles I was talking about. They're just randomly scattered around from when they fell off the roof. But there's a big pile of cans and bottles. All that's going to have to be gathered up and thrown away. And through here, there's the front wall that goes alongside the road in front of the house. Obviously, there's some grass and stuff, some more briars and things that need to be cut up there, so that new blade will do good on that. This area here is going to be kind of fun to clean up because it's real junky. Got a lot of debris that has either fallen or just been thrown here. And the roof that was here that connected the house to this guest house, it's suspect. It's really sad because it had the really nice wood, this really nice log, but it was so exposed. Look at how much it's come apart. So sad. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that it gets to a certain point and maybe people just don't have the ability or the people around them to help keep a place in good condition, and so they just leave it. But it's sad to see. I don't know if you can see that very well, but you can see the old original thatched roof underneath there, hiding away. Now that the snow is gone, you can kind of see the front of the house a little better. This is the stuff that I cut before, but because of the snow, I couldn't really see too well what all was here, so I just cut it down as best I could. You can see all the stuff that's laid down. That's from here. After I cut it, I just threw it down there. The stuff that I have to cut in front of the house. But we're going to walk around this way. It's so much easier to walk down here now that the snow isn't here. It's interesting because this slope right here, it doesn't seem like a big deal when it's dry or even rainy. It's not a big deal to walk up here. I don't find it to be slick at all. But when it snows here and it gets covered up with, a couple of inches, at least 2 or 3 inches, it is very difficult to get up there. And to be honest, I'm not sure that a vehicle could get up there unless it was all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive with some good tires. I'm trying to figure out how I should go about parking here. Should I go around the back or just find a way to make that more grippy? It's such an old tree right here in the front. And it's kind of leaning on the wall, so curious about that. Some of these I think I showed you before, these are very loose, most of them, and these have fallen over. Right, the guest house from the other side. It's so sad. If that roof were good, or at least as good as the Kura, it would be so nice, I think. But just so much damage up here, and there's a hole in the top roof, and over here it's just terrible. I am interested in where this water comes from. It's always here, no matter what time of year. Right there. Can you see that? But anyway, that's it for now. That's it for that.